Welcome to the SkillTorch Disrupt podcast, where we dive into the world of innovation and technology. My name is Malika. I'm the founder of SkillTorch, which is a recruitment company across tech that operates across the globe. Today, I have with me the CEO and co-founder of Deephow, which is an AI company. Sam is actually based in New Jersey, and he's here to talk to us a bit more about how his company and his vision is about empowering skilled workers with the use of artificial intelligence. Sam, I'm happy to have you here today.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure. Yeah, to be on the podcast, Malika. I really appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to
And
the
likewise,
discussion and conversation. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, tell the audience a bit more about yourself and your background.
yeah. My name is Sam Zheng. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Deephow. Deephow is an AI-powered video-centric platform, really dedicated for skilled workforce training. We want to leverage the power of technology, in particular AI technology, to empower skilled experts to digitize and transfer their knowledge and know-how to other workers in a more effective and efficient way. And
Mhm.
the goal is really trying to achieve the operational excellence. And certainly later we can dive in to see why AI it can play such a critical role. But just a
Yeah.
little bit background about myself. So I studied engineering psychology, always passionate about uh, understanding people, helping people, but want to leverage technology to do so. And did my PhD many years ago. After that, I joined Siemens a corporate research, and that's an innovation center for Siemens based in Princeton, New Jersey, and currently where I'm based. I spent over a decade there and driving many digital innovation and digital transformation projects, so-called now Industrial 4.0. And we're working very closely with our manufacturing partners, industrial partners, and as well driving all these digital innovation and industrial 4.0 project with them. Quite
Mm.
often we hear from them and say, hey, we don't need more robots. We don't need more automation. In fact, we need more skilled workers, and we don't have enough these and we cannot onboard people fast enough, right? We have so many technology, and then people need to learn how to use it, and meanwhile we have lots of these experts and these baby boomer generation, right? And they are retiring, and once they retire the knowledge is lost. They have not been effectively captured. And of course they also realize there's this learning paradigm shift for the younger generation of workers, right? And millennial Gen Z, you're growing up, you're learning everything online in a digital your phone, no longer interested in going through all these lengthy apprentice training. They also don't want to read all these text heavy instructions or SOPs, right? If they want to learn anything, they would prefer to go online, go to YouTube, go to TikTok, looking for more engaging content. That really create the aha moment for me and my co-founder, thinking, hey, wow, we need to do something different.
Mm.
And that really inspired us to start it, Deephow 5 years ago. And now we have a team size over 70 people globally. And most exciting part is we have actually uh, a really growing customer base. Now we're working with over 90 customers. Many of them are really huge manufacturing companies. Like for instance, Anheuser-Busch, deploying our product worldwide to over 150 sites. Stanley Black Decker also deploy this worldwide, to all their sites. And these are just a few examples. So happy to dive into any of these topic to see how AI actually can really be applied to help people learn and develop skills quicker, more efficiently.
Rolling back to like your background, and obviously when you studied at Princeton University, you've got a very interesting background of engineering and psychology. What sort of inspired you in more detail about why you created Deep How? Was it something you saw at university where you were like, this is needed, or what was the inspiration behind that?
Right. So, and by the way, I studied at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So,
Right.
and where I did my PhD. Of course, after that, I joined the innovation lab, Siemens Innovation Lab. That's actually really based in Princeton. It's actually quite close to the Princeton campus. We did have lots of collaboration with the faculties and then the students, and with in Princeton University. So going back to your question. So what your starting education, how does that really connect me or prepare me to really understand, right, the need? So first of all, engineering psychology is really this intersection between your technology and then people's needs. And your psychology is all about having a systematic and scientific way to understand your people's behavior. And in this case, particularly, we want to understand how technology is actually shaping and changing people's behavior, right? And engineering psychology actually has a long history and started all the way from World War during actually industrial revolution, during the World War II era, where technology at that time and developed really fast, and then realize, wow, and then people, right? So for how can your people adapt to new technology? How do you make certain technology safer and more reliable for people to use, right? All these automation and how people interact with these technology. So that's the part always fascinates me, and how we can integrate people's strengths and together with technology, your strengths. It's not your technology or machine. We invent something that eventually coming up like replacing people. And one of the key actually thing for engineering psychology or human factors is really understand human strengths,
right?
And then design technology to really amplify human strengths, and then also make this human plus technology is a human centered technology design idea. So that certainly has a profound impact to my thinking. So that's why in after joining the Siemens Innovation Lab, so and we work with many smart engineering colleagues, right? So who only study technology or focusing on study technology. So when they approach problems, let's say when some of my smart colleagues, right? So they study computer science, electrical engineering, right? So they will often just think from the technology perspective, right? When they go into the factory to see the so-called skills gap, and then typically they were just thinking, hey, can we create more robots? Can we create more automation in order to solve the problem? And because I came from this again the human center engineering psychology human factors background, I would look at this more holistically, and also listen to people, and right, and that's why I ended up knowing we observe how people actually doing the work in real environment, but also really listen to them and then understanding their needs. And that's why we discover, hey, they basically saying is that the lacking of skilled worker actually is really important here. It's not just create more advanced technology, and then in the end, so the best situation would be you make people better and you make technology more advanced, and you create this win-win situation with human plus technology.
How are you doing that then? So how are you actually empowering workers with AI, and what sets you apart from others in the industry in doing this?
Totally. That's a great question. So like I mentioned, so then we'll apply a user-centered design approach, human-centered, and of course now there's a field called user experience, and also design thinking, and really adopt this like human-centered approach. So in our case, so because we spent years on the shop floor, observing how knowledge is capturing, and how knowledge is organized, and how knowledge is shared. So we try to understand what's going on, and then and find out opportunity where AI can be really useful. It's not now. Yeah, you have the the powerful technology, and then it's like you have a hammer, start looking for nails. So specifically, we realize, oh, so for any organization, in order to share knowledge, the first thing is they need to capture, they need to digitize, right? Because often, so the expert have all this knowledge, but if they are not being captured, they are not digitized, so they are just in people's head, right? And they highly depend on the availability of the expert, and sometimes also depending on how effective and how that expert can be to share that knowledge. And we got a lot of inspiration from other successful online and a platform, like for instance Khan Academy, right? Saul Khan, so he shared the story. So why he started this a Khan Academy, like he was teaching he was tutoring his cousin on math, and later he realized, wow, he said his cousin actually preferred the digital version of King. Why? Because then there's this is actually that then from the learner, from the viewer's perspective, you're in control. So you can speed this up if things that you already understand, and you can slow it down if you don't, and then you can jump into any part you like. So that's actually really, really important. And same thing, right? In this manufacturing environment, right? So that's why we want to capture and digitize experts' knowledge. So we create applications we call workflow capture app, just running on any smart devices, smartphones, and really work like a camera. Expert are doing their job. So then like either they can do self-recording, or someone can record this, and an expert, let's say, is performing some kind of task, and and everything can be captured. Expert, all they just need to do doing the real work, and then explain how they're doing things, just like they were teaching a real person. And then our AI, so AI Stephanie, we have a name called Stephanie, AI Stephanie. So she will understand experts speaking different languages in a very noisy environment. Most importantly, apply all these latest natural language processing and computer vision, this multimodal understanding, to see, hey, how experts really doing the work, and turn the complex work into digestible steps. So if it's a 30 minutes work, and then AI will come in and later break it down into key steps and extract key information. So then later make this a lot easier for people to learn. So that's really the first part, digitalization. And then second part is we call the knowledge indexing, knowledge mapping. Because now if you capture all these traditionally, you need someone has L&D, your background, and trying to create, let's say, curriculums, trying to create courses, and trying to develop that kind of training. But now we can actually also use AI to facilitate that. Like for instance, right, if you look at all these successful online platforms, YouTube, TikTok, it's not someone is there organizing all these content. It's really the algorithm is behind, right? They can recommend the contents more interesting to the viewer, to the user, and then engaging them for more that's a viewing, more learning. But what differentiates us from these platforms, because YouTube, TikTok, in the end, they just want to attract eyeballs, so people spend more time so that they can sell more ads. Our platform is really dedicated for skills training, so we'll connect to their learning goals, but we'll recommend the relevant content. And because the number one, we democratize the content creation, so these are all the employee driven content creation. So that means that a lot of content can be created. And then because we have AI doing all these indexing recommendation, so we made all these information actually a lot easier for people to access. We also have very powerful search. So people not only can do your keyword, find the exact spot in the video, but also can find the exact actions, because now again AI doing this multimodal understanding, it's really, really, really powerful. And last part I just want to echo is what we're envisioning. So how to apply this knowledge, because the know-how, that's the last piece, right? So you can capture, you can digitize, you can index them, but essentially they need to be applied to receive the value. So and from our side, of course, all these content can be used for onboarding, your training, and we have seen our customer right now. People coming in, you see they self-control, they just it's very similar behavior, like they're watching YouTube, they're watching your TikTok, it's self-paced. But then after that, then they can go into the shop floor, and they already develop a lot of good understanding. So then can ask more targeted questions to the expert. We're not trying to replace the expert. We're just enhancing and make the expert even more effective in guiding people, and that also provide this job guidance as they need. Because one of the really important thing we have seen is today, and people already shift from this just in case learning, where you spend lots of time and to learn and memorize, and then you try to apply it to the real world. That's already that paradigm is not it's already outdated. Today is often people will just have, let's say, some knowledge, and then they will already go to the work and doing encounter problem, and then they want to learn, and this is called just-in-time learning, which is great, right? Because then people really know, hey, they need to solve the problem at hand. So then Deephow platform, because we have very powerful search, and we also have make it very easy accessible, so we can support people, provide information to people, right information to the right people at the right time, support this just-in-time learning. I know this is a little bit your long answer to your question, but in general is digitalization, yeah, and then your knowledge mapping, and then lastly is really apply this knowledge to people where they need.
Right. Thanks for summarizing that. So what about like when you're doing the automation, during the automation projects that you and the team are leading, what challenges did you guys come across with regards to people's skills where you didn't really anticipate that coming up?
Yeah, that's actually also a very good question. And I think today the first thing is that there's always some fear and perception. So and the minute, right, people, a lot of actually, because we're dealing with this skilled workforce, right, the so-called your blue collar, your worker, and in fact, there's a lot of misunderstanding. They thought, oh, AI is coming to replace my job, right? So that's a lot of your fear, and that's why we have a team very experienced. We'll go and say, no, actually, so AI is a powerful technology, and really depends on how you apply it. So in our case, we apply AI to make you're more efficient, more effective, right? Expert. So because people want to see, wow, what are the benefit it creates for me. So then we can prove to them. Now you traditionally you need to write SOP. You need to train so many people. Then it takes a lot of learning time, repetitive, and it's actually just not scalable. And then we have some experts telling us, right, previously, because they are the only person know how to operate certain line, certain machine. So they need to put in 50 hours, 60 hours per week into the work. They get called on the weekends, etc. But now we show that, hey, now you can actually digitize your use our technology, using our expertise, and then you can have a lot what your life balance, and that's actually exactly happened. We hear stories all the time. Then they say, hey, now I digitize, I capture my knowledge, and not only young people prefer you're learning it, but also you see that made my life actually a lot more you see and less stressful, because you don't get called during the midnight and over the weekend, and because people can look at all these your digital content and then to do it. So that's really the starting from the expert part, and from the learner side, from younger worker side, this is actually the preferred way for them to learn. That we found it always very interesting. So that, and it's also becoming and something that get them excited, improve the engagement. Because now you can imagine for a lot of young, and today actually the so-called skills gap are also really driven by your lack of interest for young people going to the industry, because they just thought, hey, manufacturing it's outdated, and which of course there's a lot of misconception. And then second is, wow, that learning process is long. it's not interesting. But they go inside, they realize, oh, it's just like, hey, like watching TikTok, you're watching YouTube, and that's something they already very familiar with. And in fact, they prefer this way of learning. So that we always found it actually fascinating. And then they adopt this technology very quickly. But of course, from the organization side, that's also very important.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is we see more and more organization, again, manufacturing, right? Particularly, there's a perception, it's a traditional industry, it's more conservative. It is true to some extent, but because there's lots of initiatives going on digitalization, Industrial
Yeah.
4.0, now with AI, and all the organization, if they want to stay competitive, they realize they need to embrace these technology. But the key thing is you need to also have a organization support. And often we found is through Deephow, we actually now foster a lot more collaboration between
Mm-hmm.
the people. Like typically it's the operational people who need to you know uh, need to have the skilled workforce, right, to do the job. And traditionally, they would just approach HR saying, "Hey, go and find the people with the right skills."
Mm-hmm.
But today, HR will tell them, "Hey, if I can find anyone interesting coming in, you'll already be lucky, right?" And then the burden will be on the operational people. Then how do we onboard all these less skilled people quickly, and how do they get them engaged, etc. But operational people, they still need to meet this huge demand because they need to
Yeah.
produce. There's a lot of the potential you see tension between HR and operations team. But with Deephow, we actually reinforce the collaboration, and then they can work together. So create new groups called workforce readiness. So really leveraging the Deephow platform, right, and to onboard and train people quicker, and then also to provide people different career paths so that they
Mm-hmm.
can really develop and their skills and their knowledge based on their interests. So again, there's definitely it's not just throw the technology people and hope everything is working. So that fully connect to our again this human center user center approach. We need to understand what are the key benefits to each of these user. It takes education. It takes also a lot of good practices sharing.
Right. Okay. No, thanks for that overview. So there's obviously been a lot of fear around AI replacing jobs, and not just in the manufacturing sector, but even in recruitment, even in retail, but especially in blue collar sectors. What are your thoughts about this? Do you see AI being a threat, and do you see it being a threat not even just in blue collar, but also on the white collar job side?
Yeah. So what we have seen. So when we started Deephow a couple of years ago, definitely there's a lot of fear. AI is
Mhm.
coming, particularly threatening the job in the blue collar, this skill workforce, right? You have robots, you have self-driving cars, you have all these autonomous machine, and very interesting. Now after a couple of years, particularly the recent AI advancement is driven by these large language models like ChatGPT, and which again is powered by this huge neural network, artificial
Mhm.
neural network or transformer. And it turned out actually, so what these latest AI advancement, they're really good at is doing information processing and directly actually more related to white collar type of job or office type. So of course, since ChatGPT was released a year ago, this literally large language model AI certainly now has really changed how we think about AI, perceive AI, and then there's a lot of discussion going on to see, hey, what's that impact to the current job, to the future job, and to the education. And a couple of months ago, there's a research paper published jointly by University of Pennsylvania and also OpenAI. They actually look at this systematically, and so they try to look at and how again tools like large language model or AI like ChatGPT, what are the skills it has, and how's that skill going to impact some of the jobs. They look at the ONET, which is the really the largest this occupation, skills, data set here in US. So they look at over 1,000 different kinds of jobs, and then the skills required, and then they basically say, hey, whether certain job can be done by AI, is the AI already exceed or approaching human level. They look at all the jobs closely. Very interesting your paper. The key takeaway, the surprising result is absolutely. So the key takeaway is AI is going to impact lots of jobs. So that's really the key takeaway. So one of the conclusion, they said, hey, 20% of the job category, 80% of the activity will be replaced by AI.
80%.
80% of the jobs. Yeah. 80% of the jobs, actually 20% of the activity already now can be replaced by AI. But what's surprising is it turned out a lot of these jobs are mostly white collar related. Like for instance, right, even taking your programming, for example, even taking your writing, for example, now we can already see ChatGPT can produce amazing results. But what they found surprisingly is actually blue collar type of work, skill based work that AI still cannot do well. And that's actually surprising to many people, and which again now we can understand, right? Because even you take the human evolution, look at the history, so our brain, the involvement, right, the different layers of our brain, and then the power we govern our motor skills, and that probably take a much longer time, right? Millions of years, and that development, and then the power. Our neocortex, which is really for information processing, and that's the more recent thing, including our languages. So language certainly was introduced much that shorter. So anyway, the point here is I think it's important to understand what are the unique human strengths in this age of AI, and that's always the number one question Deephow is trying to tackle, how we can really leverage human strengths and then connect with the power of technology. And one thing we realize is one of the key strengths of human is relearning. Is people can adapt. And that's why when industrial revolution happened, when all these automated machine coming out, so again, it ended up replacing a lot of works, but also create new opportunity, and we invent new jobs. And we definitely think we should leverage that part, and that's why also Deephow platform is really to support all these autonomous learning, right? And make workers, right? They can explore based on their interests. They can develop their skill, and that's just going to be so important for this age of AI.
Absolutely. Well, and finally, what advice would you give to today's workforce to prepare for the technological changes that are ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So number one is people need to be open, and because when in this rapid changes technology, and often we can see, and some people are really resistant to change, and change is inevitable, right? If we look at the speed of AI development, technology development, it's just getting faster and faster. So we have to open, embrace that. So understand all these, and also testing all the tools. And I mentioned earlier, and you also need to really and develop our learning skills, and then improve, right? So number one is the open, and you have that interest, and then understanding the technology and testing technology, and now the good thing is information, right, is really available over the internet, in our case over our platform, and then really taking opportunity to learn your upskill your upscale your ability to learn that to me, and that's always, and same thing I'm telling all our team members too, and we have to step up our ability to learn and to leverage all the technology to make us better, and then as a result you can also make organization and more effective and more efficient, and to drive to the operational excellence. So the key thing is technology. AI is going to be such a transformative and powerful technology, and now it really depends on how we can use it and how we can reincorporate that into our daily routine, right, and make our work and our learning, and leverage that, and then as a result, you can also make the organization more competitive and be successful.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sam. Really appreciate it. Very insightful discussion that we've had here, and yeah, I think like everyone else, I think we're all curious to see what's going to happen with AI and how it's really going to impact us both in lifestyle and also work.
Thank you so much, Malika. Really appreciate this opportunity. Really enjoy talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.